Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Dorley. I am live at the World of Wellness during the Wine of Wellness Week. This is our open house event. We're super excited. This is the last day of the event. You can come down live right here at 2419 Baldwick Road, and you can participate live with the workshops we're doing, or you can do the stream. And we're live on Facebook and YouTube, and we have very special guests. It's a close personal friend of mine. We've been colleagues and friends since, I believe, fourth grade, when I went to South Bay Elementary, and he was at JFK, otherwise known as Jail for Kids. So we worked out together, Phil, many times over the years. He's not only a great business guy, but a great trainer, great person, and he's a great bodybuilder himself. So let's give a nice warm welcome to world's greatest trainer, Paul Neville. How we doing, Paulie?
Good. Good morning, Jamie. Thank you. Thank you for that intro. Doing great today. Looking forward to it. Hopefully we can touch on some topics and put some clarity on some of the diets and trends that are out there that are being
and
used.
you've helped so many people over the years. And there's the beauty and the brains behind the operation, Kelly Lyons. Kelly, come on, slide in here. I know you got your new baby, so you can show the baby if you want for all your fans out there. Is that Big Blue?
This is Big Blue.
You know, you guys are tough trainers, Phil. These guys, they don't even train each other and their clients. They make the dog do 10 leaps to get one of those treats. I mean, you guys are tough, man.
He's got to earn a snack.
There are no free lunches, as you once said. So, Paul, you took your bodybuilding career, winning the New York Mets in New York under Steve Weinberger and the NPC, third in the Junior Nationals down in Houston, Texas. And Kelly, of course, IFBB Pro. So you guys practice what you preach. So we want to talk about the types of people you guys work with, first of all, and are you accepting new clients?
Currently, yes, we are. And it's a right now I'm almost in a little bit of a transitional phase, Jamie, because I do work with a lot of athletes, but I'm having a lot of success right now and getting a lot of enjoyment out of helping people right now with the Nutritional Frontier, the weight loss kit that we put together in the 30 years that I've been doing this. It's been the most effective, easiest, and the most important aspect of really seeing the results is really what you put in your mouth. You know, you can train in the gym as hard as you want and get in shape. Your body will respond by getting faster, stronger. But really what goes in your mouth is the only thing that dictates what you're going to look like. So, you know, it's always a struggle. You can write down whatever you want, but the people have to actually, you know, apply themselves and meal prep and follow a diet. And this kit that we put together is so easy. It doesn't leave people a lot of cravings. So the success of that has really been kind of the focus of my future a little bit, because I really enjoy helping people succeed at losing weight that have struggled for forever, including some of my clients. I mean, this really changed their outcome. And it's just a lot of fun watching people that, you know, there's no difference between when someone loses 100 pounds or winning a pro card. That's a huge goal, you know, so helping regular people that, you know, achieve their goals, that is their show, you know, so yeah, Jim.
No, that's why I like that. We're in alignment that it's a lifestyle program, right? There's plenty of products out there, but how many times are people buying products and shakes loaded with lactose and sugar and soy and all these things you don't want? But when you focus on the lifestyle, including the exercise, right, including the nutritional component.
Hey, Paulie!
We got the Godfather of nutrition, Joe Messina, of course. He has yet to meet a camera he don't like, guys, so bear with me here.
Very charismatic.
So Joe's running the show here today. We got a lot of people in already, but it's a lifestyle program. You got to apply the training, right? You got to apply the cardiovascular. You got to apply the flexibility, the diet, of course, and then the proper nutrients. So let's hear a little bit about the kit, because we help you customize that. But what's in your kit I saw hundreds of people posting their success by incorporating that kit for body comp management. So what's in your kit? We got the power cleanse.
You know what, Jim, I just took the power cleanse, which is fortified with every micro and macronutrient, as you know, the power greens, and we start the day with that shake. Okay, and along with that, we also take the estro cleanse to help stabilize all the hormones, your estrogen levels, etc. Which it's that would be the breakfast,
So
and
for
then
people that are newer to you or me, let's talk about that real quick, because the power cleanse and the greens together provides all the 90 essential nutrients you need every day,
correct.
right? So it's not just protein, it's not just calories, but the nutrient content. And we're going to talk a little bit with Kelly about the vegan component, but this is a vegan shake. And you're getting all the macronutrients in the right ratios, your protein, carbs, fats, and fibers, and then all your micronutrients. It has a multivitamin and mineral. So I love doing that shake every day because it gives me everything I need without anything I don't want, right? I don't got to take a bunch of pills. But you didn't stop there. You added in the estro cleanse, probzyme, and protein. So why did you do that? Because that was a great idea.
Just for the efficiency of it, you know, if you're on it, and the amount of food that we put in is basically 2 meals a day and 2 shakes a day. So if you calculate it, you know, you're somewhere in the area, depending on the size of the person, of 900 calories to 1,000 calories, give or take. Um, so you want to maximize the absorption of the food, which the Probzyme clearly does. When you're taking the Probzyme, it maximizes your digestion, and all the and everything you're taking in, your body can absorb. So some of Jamie, this is interesting. Some of the what's called the critiques might be, well, that's a low calories. I'm supposed to take in over 1,400 calories. Okay, but the 1,400 calories that you were taking in on that diet, probably 700 of them were foods that your body really doesn't recognize, or really doesn't
Wow.
have a use for. So you're really only getting 700 useful calories. And if it was such a deficit, this is what I love the most about the kit, Jamie, is when somebody does have a hiccup because they're a regular person and they had a wedding, they had a night out or a Christmas party, they only gain back. For people that lost 10, 12, 15 pounds, when they have a bad day or a bad night, they only gain back a pound. So it wasn't
Oh,
like it
nice.
was such a, this isn't a deficit diet where you have one bad night and you gain back 7, 8 pounds. That's an artificial weight loss. This weight loss is real. The weight stays off. Even when they have their little hiccup, they miss a meal. I hate to say this because I don't want to program people wrong, but or they have a food they shouldn't have had, they don't get penalized for it. So you really are changing the metabolism of the clients by teaching them good habits, eating frequent meals, and it's been really effective that when someone does have a slip up, they don't get beat up too hard for it, and that makes them very motivated. That, you know, if you live a normal lifestyle, this is very realistic. It's very effective, but it's also very realistic where you know you don't have that rebound, that yo-yo effect on a typical diet. You know, if it was such a deficit. So
Yeah,
I mean I get you.
that's a great point, because often when people think of a cleanse at all, they're thinking of being deprived. What am I got to take away? That's only half the program. The other half is what nutrients does your body need to maximize that metabolic rate, to process these toxins that are stored in adipose tissue, right? I work with Dr. Jeffrey Bland, and he showed years ago, well, what comes first, the fat cell or the toxin? If these fat cells are loaded with toxins and you don't detoxify, you'll lose weight, but not the kind of weight you lose. And Kelly, can you talk a little bit about, because females, they always say, oh, it's so easy for the men to lose weight, but talk about some of the success you had, and then why is the vegan at times more important? Because I know you transitioned back and forth through that based on what your goals are.
I've definitely bounced back and forth and tried just about every kind of diet, including vegan and, some minimal meat. For me, and I think for most females, what I found the most success with, and I think that shows in our clients, is cutting, like limiting the dairy. So limiting a lot
Yeah,
of the regular milk, cheese, all of that traditional dairy has definitely made people not only look better, but feel better too. Sometimes people don't even realize, like, with especially, I mean, your products are all high quality, which is something that I love and everybody notices a difference with. But with regular, like, whey protein shakes that you pick up at a store, like the traditional brands, people don't even realize how bloated and lousy it makes them feel. And then swapping it out, like swapping it out for this cleanse shake or for your super shake, people feel so much better and their stomach goes down, the bloating goes away. So for me, I think that's really a major thing. Trying to find protein sources that aren't necessarily derived from animals can be a little bit tricky sometimes, but the shakes definitely help with that.
Yeah, that's how I love that what we've done has evolved over the years, right? Because when we first got into training and bodybuilding back in the 80s, that's the 1980s, Phil, not the 1880s. This kid over here, right? He wasn't even born yet. Kelly was in diapers in the 90s, I think, right? So, we've been doing this for so long. The original protein shakes, my brother, Double D, the lift killer, David Dorley, right? Over at the at All Natural Gym, he would give me these protein shakes, and they were brutal. All right, they're loaded with lactose, loaded with sugar. It's going back a long time, but over time, the shakes have gotten a lot cleaner. When you say the food allergies, I love it because that's what we do at the Wellness Center. Is dairy's number one. If people can get rid of that, their digestive system and their bloating goes down right away. The other things, of course, are overconsumption of sugars and alcohols, but the whey protein that we have that you guys use in your kit is lactose free. That's why there's not that bloating and gas and stuff. And then with the vegan shake, no issues at all. So are you doing a more of a vegan protein now, Kelly, or where are you at?
So I follow kind of like a pescatarian diet. I found that when I went fully vegan, I felt great. I felt energized, but I did miss having eggs in the morning. So I added back in some eggs in the morning, and I will also have fish. So a lot of lean white fish or tuna, things like that. But those are my main two, like animal protein sources come from fish and eggs. Other than that, I'm pretty much, following a non-meat diet. We've also found that with a lot of people switching, for women in particular, switching out a lot of the chicken, because a lot of times people feel like chicken is such a healthy option, which it is, but because of all the hormones and things that go into, unfortunately, the meat and the food now, that by eliminating that from women's diets, they've noticed that they've had significant
Weight loss.
weight loss. So I feel like that's major, and that's how I just feel most comfortable. That's like what I've settled into, that I feel very comfortable with, is having eggs and fish primarily.
Well, I love what you guys are saying. I just want to remind everyone I'm Jamie Dorley. Excuse me. We're live at the World of Wellness with two fitness icons in the field of personal training, nutrition, and bodybuilding. Kelly Lyons, IFBB Pro, and Paul Neville, world's greatest trainer, coming to us live from Long Island, my home. I've known Paul for, gosh, is it 40 years? I mean, over 40 years, right?
Over 40 years,
I've
Jamie.
watched him throughout throughout his career and journey, helped so many people, not only elite athletes, but I don't know. I know of at least 5 people you helped lose over 100 pounds, right?
Yeah, it's
So
10. In my career, it's 10.
Oh, we're up to 10 already. So that's fantastic. I mean, because I think a lot of times, even for me growing up being, used to call it stocky, right? And, solid and, husky and all those words. But, nowadays, I think as people evolve, I think it's hard sometimes for them to see themselves in great shape, right? That was always the thing with me is how can I look like that? How can I get there? And there's so many diets coming at us, it becomes overwhelming. So you can give us a little history of some of the diets that have become popular in the field, but maybe some advantages and disadvantages, starting with the Atkins diet, right?
Well, I think the Atkins diet was first. That was the first fat protein diet. And that like everything evolves, but Atkins was basically, if you don't eat carbohydrates, you can't produce insulin. If you don't produce insulin, you can't store fat. But the Atkins diet also incorporated any type of fat, including saturated fats, and that's why it was a big hit. A lot of people really like that. They can have sausage, bacon, eggs for breakfast. They can have all the unhealthy fats, and they really, what your body can't, your body really, it just excretes most of it because it can't absorb it. Without insulin, which is the key to it's a storage hormone, and it lowers blood sugar, but without the carbohydrates, it doesn't get produced. So it does effectively lose weight scientifically. However, saturated fats, the now diet that I would implement more is the keto diet, more quality good fat, monounsaturated fats like avocado, nuts, extra virgin olive oil, good fats that your body has a use for, essential fatty acids, so to speak. So the Atkins diet, really, which I never really was a big fan of, evolved into a keto diet, which, depending on the person's insulin sensitivity, is an extremely effective weight loss. And the fact that you don't take in carbohydrates, it stabilizes your blood sugar, so there are no cravings. So it makes it a very easy diet to follow because you really don't have the cravings that you'd have because your blood sugar is much more consistent. So in my world, Jamie, with regular clients, a lot of people that, struggle with weight, it's because really, they look at carbohydrates and they gain weight. They don't even have to eat them. So the
Hello,
key,
that's me. Yeah.
as opposed to a different body type of an ectomorph or something like that, that can eat all the carbs you want. Depends on your body's metabolism. So I think the keto diet is good. I've had a lot of
All
success
right,
with
so that's
that.
a fantastic explanation of Atkins. The advantage is that it manages insulin, which is a pro-fat storage hormone. Okay, so the good things, it sounds like what you're explaining about that is it's good to manage insulin. The negative on that diet was that it didn't discriminate with good and bad fats. Right?
Correct.
So,
That's
all
it.
right, I like that idea. So the other diet that was close to that was the South Beach, which was an interesting story because I was meeting with the Dr. Augustino that wrote the book, and we were down in Miami at his office, and I says, "Well, how'd you come up with South Beach?" He says, "Well, you want the scientific explanation?" I says, "Sure." He says, "Well, the American Heart Association was 65% carbs, and we knew that was no good. Atkins was 0, and we didn't like that, so we split the difference." So that whole diet was based on just taking those two and going right down the middle. And then he says, it was a metabolic diet, but my wife said it's not sexy enough, so they called it South Beach, which I like because it took the carbs down, but incorporated some carbs. But can you explain a little bit for everyone listening the difference on some starchy carbs versus fibrous carbs and the advantages of each? Because for me personally, the starchy carbs at this point in my life, they don't really agree with me.
Well, I mean, you're right. So there are two different types of carbohydrates: starchy, which really get converted into energy. They break down in your body, and they get stored as glycogen. When water meets glucose, it gets stored in your liver or your muscles as glycogen, which is energy. The the advantages and again, Jamie, I personally, when I have carbohydrates, like to cycle them in and out, depending. A pretty easy rule of thumb is look at what you're going to do for the next couple of hours, and if you're going to do something active, that's a good time to have energy. That's a good time to take in a carbohydrate, whether it's
Yeah, I
fruit
want to
or
hold that
whether.
point for a minute because I think a lot of people eat for what they did. You're saying eat for what you're going to do.
Yes.
That's a big difference because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I worked out so hard, I got to go eat so much, but the workout's over.
Depending on your goals, Jamie, but you do want to replenish some of the energy that was burnt off. But depending on the time of your workout, if it's late, if it's at night, you really don't want to take in a lot of carbohydrates for various reasons at late at night. One, if you don't use the energy, you store it, because that's the difference between you can store carbohydrates, that you don't burn off. And if you do raise your insulin levels close to bedtime, you don't produce any natural growth hormone either. So there's a hormonal disposition that you want to try and keep in balance as well. There's certain foods that will
Well,
counter the
explanation. Kelly, can you add in a little bit about, because we have a lot of female listeners out there, and again, they always say how easy it is for the males. I don't think it's easy for anybody, so I always admire people that are able to, put the work in, focus, and, the discipline is really the key, and the consistency, right? Because anyone can do it one day, but doing it over a period of time and then years to keep those results going. But can you explain some of your success with some females and what are some of the changes? I know you mentioned food allergies, which was great. What are some of the other tips you want to give people out there, especially the female listeners?
I think for females too, it's important to just not think that they need to do everything that the men are going to do. A lot of times, a lot of programs and diets and everything are definitely geared, and the test groups that they're formulated in are geared towards men. So it's important for females to get an idea of what works for them, or if they're going to the gym with, say, their boyfriend, husband, whoever, that they're not just following what they do, that they get a program that's really designed for them and their goals. And the same thing with their diet. And not to be afraid of, just trying different types of diets and trying to get an idea of how your body actually processes those things. Like, I think for a lot of women, trying to, if they're going to have carbs, which, we shouldn't make carbs evil because they're not. Sometimes they're great, but if you're going to have them earlier in the day, kind of like what Paul was saying, so that your body, so that you're going to use them throughout the day and use them for energy and use them to function properly. And then later in the day, maybe have your healthy fats. So I think that's a really great thing for women to try to focus on doing, and just being more mindful of what they're taking in and when they're taking in. So often, women, whether they're moms or working or whatever they're doing, they just really eat whatever's available to them on the spot. I mean, men do that too. Everybody gets busy and you just grab whatever you can that's convenient. Trying to come up with some kind of a plan and taking in better quality foods, like everything that we've talked about, whether it be carbs, fats, protein source, whatever it is, there's no doubt that if you get a higher quality, that your body's going to like it and it's going to absorb the nutrients and it's going to help you rather than harm you.
Yeah, those are excellent tips to give the people, especially females. And I think a lot of times from what I hear from people is they get jammed up with this whole calorie count, or, it's a punishment that they got to eliminate everything. And what I'm hearing from you guys, and what we always practice with bodybuilding or fitness, was eating more nutrient-dense foods. So what are some of those top
Absolutely.
foods? What are some of the top ones you recommend? Top nutrient-dense foods that people may be afraid of.
I like Paul was talking about before, healthy fats. Like everybody's afraid of fats. Women especially, they're afraid to take in fats. Healthy fats are so good for you in so many different ways, even as a female, just for your skin, for your hair, for your nails, for everything to like look better and kind of get a glow. I think avocados are amazing. If you like avocados, I think you should, like a half of one every day is amazing for a female to take in. Healthy oils, like high quality coconut oil, olive oil, that are cold pressed and haven't been processed, haven't been heated, so they retain their nutrients. Those are really just all superfoods that your body's just gonna like suck up and absorb and use for energy and for so many other things. And they're gonna make you feel great. I think that's one of the most important things too. Like everybody walks around kind of feeling sluggish and tired all the time, and they're so used to it. That's been a major thing actually that we've noticed with a lot of people doing the kit, is that when they have that shake in the morning, and we always say that that's how you know that a product works, is when you don't have it, you miss it. So people have definitely been feeling fantastic on the shake and actually like craving it. So, again, if you eliminate something from your diet and you're craving it and your body wants it, I think that's a key sign that it's working.
Oh, those are great points.
Jamie, that's another thing that's really good too about the kit, is that people really aren't that hungry. It's that shake is it's very filling. So even though it doesn't seem like it's a lot of food, they're not really that hungry. They're having enough food every so often that they're not struggling with any
those are great points. And don't laugh too much at me, but I was getting a coffee the other day before my workout. So, the drive-thru is wrapped around the block. So I go into the store. They ignore me for a few minutes, and then they finally come over. And the donuts, I can smell them when I walk in, right? Yeah. I'm like, this is not a good idea. And I got the coffee, and I was like, am I really hungry? I was like, no. And I'm like, man, no. I do the power cleansing greens every day, and it gives you the nutrients you don't crave anywhere near like you would. So I think a lot of times people don't realize some of those benefits. But I say the first thing is the mental energy, and that's what you guys are experiencing.
Absolutely,
no doubt.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's really the mental energy, how clean it is. There's definitely people. I was with a kid last night. He works construction and he's a DJ. And the first thing he said to me is, I just can't believe how much energy I have on this amount of food. I feel fantastic. I feel really good all throughout the day. I have sustained energy. And that's a powerful word, sustainable energy. Not highs and lows, not peaks and valleys. He doesn't crash midday or look for another cup of coffee midday. So on every level, I'm just finding out the success of it for every person has its its advantages in every way.
Yeah, people are asking
losing weight.
Do you got and the positive benefits, right? So if you guys are accepting new clients, you do over the phone or Zoom, and if so, Kelly, can you give out the way to contact you guys?
Sure, yeah. We both are on Instagram. Paul does a lot of social media that shows off, his
a lot. He's Mr. Social Media, this guy. I love it. He's everywhere. And telling the story. People love that. They really do. It's cool. I like to follow them.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and people do like to see the journeys. And we have so many amazing journeys at the gym. Again, we have like elite competitors, and then also, just average people looking to make their lives better. And the energy and the vibe is just amazing because everybody goes up there, just to work, and it's just really cool. So the energy up there is fantastic. But we have the social media pages. We both have email. My email is kellylionsfitness@hotmail.com. I answer my emails immediately. I'm a little better about it. Paul's a little better with the social media. And we are building our new fitness center, which we are so, so excited about. So our website is under construction for that, but that will be coming very shortly. We're going to have brand new facility right next door to where I live. So we're super psyched about that.
I just got to pop in, Jamie, from Rachel. Rachel's one of our clients, a new client that she's looking to compete next year for the first time. Thank you, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm going to get there. Don't worry, Paul. I see the compliments. Paul and Kelly are the best coaches. And like I said earlier, not sugarcoating anything. These are elite level fitness trainers. These are the top people in the world. I'm just lucky enough that I've been friends of theirs for a long time. And, they're able to share their knowledge and passion for this. This is a mission that they're on to help people. Of course, it's a business. They got to make money. But there's no gimmicks here. If you follow Paul over the years, he's always focused on the lifestyle, the training, the nutrition. It's not the product of the month. He's actually been very reluctant. I've owned a nutritional company for a long time. He's been very cautious of bringing products out because he cares so much about his clients. So, Kelly, your email is kellylionsfitness@hotmail.com.
Correct.
Okay.
Hot pants.
So, easy way to get a hold of Kelly. And their website is underconstruction.com, right? So we got to get the new website going. They are in the Pump House, which is right on Montauk Highway. Is it still in East Islip?
That's correct for now.
East Islip, New York, right on Main Street. So you can go down there live and schedule an appointment. You can do some of their exercise classes. They do one-on-one training. They do diet programs for not only elite athletes, but the weekend warrior like me, and then the average person that just wants to maybe get in shape for the first time. And I remember one of your clients, Paul.
You know what, Jamie? You know what I think it's most important when you look at the mindset of somebody, right? Programming their mind to succeed for the expectations. But I think there's a difference when you go on a food plan or a diet. I hate the word diet, but if you go on a lifestyle diet, and that's all you're focusing on, when you start training, food takes on a different purpose. You can look at it a little bit more as fuel than food. If you're not training and you're eating, you almost eat to eat. But when you're training and when your focus is very different when you think of food. You look at what it's going to do. From a good workout, you don't want to waste that workout, so you start looking at the quality of the food a little bit more. So training and exercise, in my opinion, they really go hand in hand to maximize your benefit. But to get your mind in the right place, I think eating healthy without exercising isn't really enough. And obviously exercising without eating healthy isn't going to be enough. So the two really complement each other well mentally. I think you focus a lot more on what you're going to put in your mouth when you're working out, as opposed to if you're just following a food plan. It doesn't have the same purpose. Food doesn't have the same purpose when you're not training, looking to break down muscle and burn fat.
Yeah, and we were talking about being more enjoyable, right? Not like just waiting till you're starving and the car goes through the drive-through, right? Or being depressed and eating that extra ice cream at night. So we're talking even like we went out to dinner, our team the other night, and we shared some desserts. It was more enjoyable with the laughter rather than using that food to comfort you. So everyone gets cravings, right? So my secret is I do a scoop of natural nut butter. So Kelly's smiling behind you, Paul. So I'm sure she's experiencing cravings.
Too, if you take a scoop of chocolate protein and add the nut butter into that, mix it up a little bit with maybe a little bit of almond milk or something like that, stick it in the freezer for 20 minutes. You got like a little ice cream pudding kind of deal, and it's phenomenal. Especially
there we go, some healthy ice cream pudding. I love it. So take the Nutritional Frontiers chocolate protein, a little bit of water, right? Put it in the freezer, have it get cold, and then you can eat it. So I love that idea. What about you, Paul? I know you don't. He's not a big eater, Kelly. He's been pissing me off for a long time about that, right? He was never a big
No,
eater.
I eat him under
So,
the
you know,
table
me, I like to
usually.
eat all the time. So, Paul, do you ever get a craving?
It's funny. I do. And my cravings, if I get a sweet tooth, would be more for ice cream or baked good, like a crumb cake, rather than chocolate. I don't like candy much at all. It'd be, that would be anything. But you're right, Jimmy. I always struggled with eating, and some of the best bodybuilders, really, as you know, were the best eaters. So it that was never really, So it was always forcing food. And I'll never forget this, Jamie. When I competed for my first show, what I thought I knew about nutrition, and you were part of that. And then I really started eating, weighing out food and calculating the amount of food and macros. I couldn't believe in 4 weeks the difference of what I saw in the mirror. I'll never forget it. I was at
Amazing.
World's Gym in the back, and I looked in the mirror, and I couldn't believe then what I was looking at. Now I look back and I have a different story, but I realized then right then and there that holy macro, this is everything to do with the food. Because I didn't train, I always trained hard. You know that, Jim. We always trained hard, but I changed up the nutritional aspect, really focused on that. And my body changed more in 4 weeks than it changed in probably 4 years almost, as far as what I
Yeah.
can see the difference. So
Oh,
really,
I love what you're saying, because I still remember my first diet. It was from Tim DeLuca. You remember Tim? It was
Jimmy,
hanging
yeah.
on my fridge in college, and it was just 6 meals. That was it, like egg whites and oatmeal, like simple stuff, chicken and rice. And my body started changing. I was like, oh my God, is this all that it really took? I thought I was eating good, right? But when you
Yeah,
get
me
on a
too.
structured eating program, it's incredible the difference. And, I was talking to a lot of people this week, and sometimes what happens is people say, well, I can't eat any of that. I'm like, well, if you really want to, hit a certain goal, you need to really restrict for a period of time. And then you may be able to add in some things later on. So I think sometimes people never get over the hump because they're always doing a little bit of cheating rather than just being
Jamie,
strict
that's
for.
so true. That's so true.
Fair,
They're
yeah.
always looking for when do I get my cheat meal? When do I get a repeat? When I try and coach them through it, try and get through the point where they start seeing a little bit of results. Like anything else, once you start getting results, it gets a little bit more addictive. But at first, some of the things that I encounter as soon as they start talking about weight training women, where every time I start lifting weights, I get big. Well, the reality is when you start lifting weights, your metabolism gets kicked up and you get hungrier, but you haven't built any muscle yet. The process is you break down, you go to the gym, you lift weights, you break down muscle, then you have to rest, eat, recover, and then you grow in that order. And it takes a while to start building lean muscle. What's called muscle horsepower. Obviously, the more horsepower you put into a car, the more you put a supercharger or you super up the motor, the more horsepower it has, the more gas it burns. The more lean muscle that you build, your body burns off more calories naturally. So it takes a little while, to build up lean muscle. So at first, it's very important, like this kit, there's structure. There's a definitive end to what you're supposed to do with each meal. If you start weight training and you get hungrier and you don't start eating more, you won't gain weight. And that's, I think, the first thing women struggle with is their metabolism gets kicked on. They start eating more, but they haven't built up the horsepower yet to burn off more of the calories or burn more gas, and they gain weight. Actually, they start getting fatter, and they're not getting muscle. Like, I get too big. No, you're not getting bigger. You're getting fatter. You haven't given yourself the 2 months that it's going to take to start changing your metabolism. So it's really important when you start lifting weights to really have accountability to the amount of food that's going in your body, because you're going to have an urge to eat more food than you ever have, because that's what weight training does. So that's
Well, those are
important
some
to
great,
really have
great points, because I think people expect the results so quick, right?
yeah,
Oh, I've been eating
overnight.
bad for 25 or 30 years. How long will it take, Kelly, for me to get in the bikini, right? It's like, there's not realistic. So what's a realistic amount of time? I always say 1 month when I can see it, 2 months for my family, and 3 months for strangers. So what's your timeline, at least for
Well, that's a
people who
great. You
have
know
some
what, Jamie?
incentive?
That's a great catch. Usually, when someone says I don't know them, I have to say everybody's different. Give it, give it your best effort, and I'll tell you in 3 weeks. I'll tell you in 3 weeks. By the way, by the outcome of the response your body gives us after this plan, I'll have an idea who's in front of me. So it's not really fair to ask me that yet, and I don't want you to hold
Right.
me accountable. But if you give it your best shot and you follow this, in a couple of weeks, by the way you respond, I'll give you a much better accurate what I think by the way that you respond. So, usually you got to give it a month. Give it a
Yeah.
month and really start figuring out their weight loss, their strength gains, how responsive their body is. Is their body responsive, which is the best case scenario. If you cheat and you get penalized, okay, that's fair. If you eat clean and you exercise and you lose weight, that's what you're hoping for. So a responsive body, good or bad, is the best body type to work with. You just don't know if someone's body's kind of dormant or if it needs training to actually, you had to train for them to train to get in shape. Sometimes people, that far, I wouldn't call it gone, but that far where they, it's going to take a little while from the metabolic damage that they've done from starving themselves, eating once or twice a day. Your body doesn't trust them right away. It's going to take a little bit of time to undo 30 years of bad habits. So you don't know who's in front of you right away. You just have to see, and I've faced that with the kid, Jamie. I'd say 90% of it, 90% was an extraordinary success rate. But there's 10% that really, I'm not sure why they're still losing, but not at the rate I might have thought. So either, they're lying to me, which is always possible, about what they're doing and how accurate they are, or they really have done some metabolic damage over the years. And it's going to take a little bit more time. And that's when you really got to coach them through it, because they get frustrated because they see all the people succeeding. But, you really have to work with them mentally. You want them to mentally to stay strong, stay committed, and, hope, it's on the way. It's coming. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know when or where or why. You didn't do
Yeah,
anything
I think
different.
he's
It
got to
just
be
happens.
realistic, right? Like, hey, how about doing this for 3 months? And that's the goal, right? And not so much on the weight and all the details, because they got to be consistency, right? You got to be consistent with the program. I mean, someone asked me the other day on one of the shows, I says, I competed so long ago the first time, there was no cheat meals. Like, you didn't cheat. There's no way, because you knew you wouldn't get the results if you cheated. Now I know the science has changed over time, but you really got to be consistent. So how do you incorporate the shakes? Because I know a lot of this, when you say some people aren't getting the results, is food allergies, right? I think that's where the Probzyme really helps out a lot. So do you have them do a shake, you said, in the morning? So there's Power Cleanse, greens, and whey all together?
Can you hear me, Jamie?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear the dog, too. Is it your dog?
Yeah, he's straight.
He's hungry. He's like, come on, give me a shake. All this talk about food. He's like, I'm in off season. Give me some food, guys. There he is. Oh, what a cutie, huh? Love it.
Yeah.
So
Still
how
doing
do you incorporate the kit with people? How do you take me through a day with somebody using your kit? This is, of course, Paul Neville and Kelly Ryan talking from the Pump House right here in Long Island, New York. And they've incorporated Nutritional Frontiers customized kit for their clientele, which is Power Cleanse, Greens, Whey Protein, Probzyme, and Estro Cleanse. So take us through a day on somebody on that program. How many shakes? How are they doing it?
Okay, well, normally that would be how we start the day, with the Power Cleanse, the Pro Greens, the Lean Greens, and the Extra Cleanse in the morning. And then 4 hours later, I'd usually, depending on the size of the person, incorporate the energy, the carbohydrates from the form of fruit, then a lean quality protein. First preference is fish, then chicken and turkey, and then usually I'll give them an amount of vegetables to take in. 4 hours later, I'll usually give them half an avocado, the same ounces depending on their body weight of fish, chicken, or turkey. And then 4 hours later, they'll get the protein shake, or the best
Nice.
whey protein shake. So I space them out every 4 hours typically, which has worked very, very well. If they want to eat, you can swap out meals 3 and 4. You can have the shake as meal 3 and then come home. Doesn't really matter if you're having, food later, if it's a fat, protein, and fiber. There's no carbs. So if they want to eat with their family or eat the food later, you can alternate those two. But in that order, usually the energy comes first, then the fat will come second in the meals. And that's really been the key to the kit. I will change it out a little bit depending on their weight, the amount of ounces that they get. And I do think it is important to weigh your food, because, again, the strongest word is consistency over time. So consistency. So if you're not weighing your food, you're being inconsistent. There's no doubt about it. So weighing your food gives you that consistency. And if you consistently, if you got to go to Florida, you put it into a GPS, you're going to get there. If you just kind of wing it, you just drive and you're just not sure if you're really going the right way. And I think that's what happens when you're not weighing your food. You really don't know you're having 3 ounces or 6 ounces. And that's a big difference, especially done twice a day over the course of a week, over the course of the month. There's a lot of gray area there. So I think having accountability, consistency, it's a lot easier for me to make accurate decisions and adjustments when you give me accurate information. If what you're telling me is inaccurate and I'm making changes according to your inaccurate advice, then it's harder for me to do my job. So accountability, consistency with this program, I really can't. You cannot feel better, have more energy, have a convenient food plan.
Well, that's the big thing too, the convenience. I think it's just like really made it a lot easier for people. Like often when we're trying to give people a food plan, and you know this too, Jamie, like everybody, when you're responsible to have 4 or 5 meals throughout the day, it can be overwhelming. You know, it's just like, it seems like so much that you have to do and prep and everything else. And this way, people are really just responsible to make themselves 2 meals, and the other, you know, the other 2 are taken care of. And it's just so simple for people. It's really easy. So it's easy to follow and easy to have success with.
You know, Jamie,
Oh, I love this. There's so much good stuff coming out. Go ahead, Paulie.
It really is, Jamie. Matter of fact, last night before I went out to a Christmas party, I reached out to some clients I've had years and years ago. And I said, hey, I hope all's well. It's been a long time. I really think I found something that the people that struggle with the nutritional end, I really think I found something for you that's really, I think it's just what you've been looking for. And I couldn't feel any more confident that when they get the kit, because they're going to do the kit, the success is going to be there. You know, to reach out to people that you know are struggling, to help them. I know it's going to help them. It's just really, it's been great. So one thing that's been lacking in my career, what is the right food plan? This food plan, it's just 2 meals a day and 2 shakes a day. Really, honestly, if you can't follow this kit, you're really never going to get there. This kit is your best shot of ever really healthy. It's not a fad diet. It's not a gimmick. It's real. It's not artificial weight loss. It's real weight loss. It's doable, and it's healthy. You're getting all your micros and macros in. I can't feel any stronger about recommending someone to try the kit that's been struggling with weight loss as I do this program that we put together. And that's the truth.
You guys are awesome. I tell you what, this is such great knowledge and education for people. I love what you guys do with the lifestyle program. You're helping so many people. And man, there's so many things going through my head. One of the discussions we have on our team is what's between your goals and accomplishments, right? I said it's hard work and consistency. It doesn't come any easier for me or you guys or anybody else. Sometimes it's harder for the people that are successful. And what I love about the lifestyle you guys promote is you can apply this to everything in your life, right? The discipline, the consistency, the goal setting. It could be for your body, for fitness, for nutrition, and it could be for your business or your family or finances. So that's what I love about the bodybuilding lifestyle. It's not just about somebody getting bigger. It's about getting better and applying those. And one thing you said, Kelly, that was really profound was that, you know, oftentimes when people try and get on these programs, they're probably eating more food than they think. The shakes control it, right? And it provides all the nutrients your body needs to lower toxicity and maximize nutritional saturation. So this is fantastic. I think people are really excited.
Hey, Jamie, this was pretty interesting. I had one of my trainers that a client. She's a trainer, and she's been having a lot of success with her clients and the kid as well. Yesterday, reached out to me, said, "Hey, I have a client who's a diabetic. Is this any good, or is this they shouldn't follow this?" And I said, "Glad you asked that. You could, with extreme confidence, tell them that the founder of the company is a diabetic as well, and this kit was really originated around his needs, and he's down." Jamie, I mean, I'm not sure how much weight you have. You look like the Rock over there.
Yeah.
Let's stretch out a little bit here. Hopefully I don't rip the coat, but
yeah, no, I think it's the best you've looked. But coming from, you know, struggling in that area with the diabetes, this diet has worked wonders for you to help you and your life. So you know, once you heard that you can't be ready any more confident.
I'm human too, right? I got family, I got business, I got training to do, traveling. So I'm just like anybody else. I have the same challenges everyone else has, and really focused the last few years. I'm already working on my goals for next year. And I think it's important to have a coach, right? I have a whole team of people I rely on. You need help when you're doing these types of programs because sometimes even at an elite level, all these Kelly, everyone has trainers. So it's never too late to get started. You should seek out somebody's help, especially if you're not getting results on your own. So how do they contact you guys? What's your phone number?
By phone, it's my cell is 631-926-4732. My email is pj.neville, Neville, 1986 at yahoo.com. And then my Instagram is Ironworks Training Team.
Okay. 1986. Were you born in 86, Paulie? I'm trying to figure out how old you.
You know what year it is. You graduated with me in 86.
All right, Kelly, how do they contact you by phone? Because a lot of people want to train with you. So how do they call you?
Okay, so my cell is 516-462-2891. My Instagram is at Kelly Lyons Fit. And I also do have a website that's Forever Fit with Kelly. You can check out some of my client transformations on there. And those are pretty much the best ways.
Actually, Jamie, if you look, Jamie, I'll tag you in today. I'm really proud of one of my clients. Her name is Sue. Sue is in her late 50s, and she's down. Huh?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
She's down almost 23 pounds in 7 weeks that she's been on the kit, and she has some real stuff going on in her life personally that she's addressing. And this program, the training in the kit, is really, really. Usually when people have a lot of stress in their life, it makes weight loss harder, because the cortisol levels or whatever. In my past, this is the most successful weight loss, healthy that I've seen with someone under a lot of stress, maybe ever in my career, to really lose 23 pounds in 7 weeks when you're.
You have a couple more minutes. Let's talk a little bit more about her. So a woman in her late 50s, yes. High stress, right?
High stress.
Struggling with her lifestyle program. She's been working out with you and on your kit for 7 weeks and down over 23 pounds.
Correct.
That's fantastic.
It's really amazing. I mean, it really shows that even someone that dealing with things that, get tossed your way, helping people out that are sickly is, it's very time consuming, very stressful, very demanding, but she still finds, ways to get to the gym and stay on the program. And she's down 23 pounds. She's about to break a huge number. She's about to go,
this is awesome.
200-pound mark. It's fantastic. Honestly, that's motivating to me, is winning any first place trophy that you ever get. To see someone change their life when they really could, it's just a helpful time for them. To have something so positive when they're under such stress is it's awesome to be a part of. And it really shows me that anybody can do it. If this person can find the will, the way, and there's really not a fitness person, but they really just wanted to help, make a change. And she gave it a shot. I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but she's just, the results have been great. She it's amazing when you start seeing results. It's amazing how they find a way to get to the gym, find a way to get it done when you start seeing things.
I was just talking to a new client about that recently. I said, she just needs a little success, right?
That's it.
She needs a little bit of confidence, and then boom,
a little motivation from there. A little bit of motivation when you jump on that scale and you see it move, like, wow, really? It's working? And that keeps them hungry, keeps them coming back. They jump on the scale the next day and it's down again. The next day, down again. They've stopped really believing this could be it for me this time. They tried so many things before, but this time, every time they jump on, the scale is down just a little bit more. They always can't believe it. To be honest with you, Jamie, it's been so successful. I almost had a hard time believing it until it just became so evident across the board that this is real. And then I
think when you look at it, right?
Success, Jim, even me, I had so much success with this that started motivating me to reach out to more people, get more people part of this. I know this is going to help you. I know I got something. I know
it's been fantastic hearing some of these success stories. And when we start thinking about it again, Kelly saying dairy products, we always say the two causes of any health issue, weight, diabetes, cardiovascular, joint health, is going to be toxicity. And the food is more toxic than ever, right? And then you add in nutritional deficiencies, and that's why people are bloated and they're depressed and they're not sleeping. There's so many factors going into that. And next time we have to dive in a little deeper, because the greens was updated about a year ago. We have this whole detox blend that you're not going to see in the health food store. So the patented glutathione, the Mothian, that's a master antioxidant in the liver. So when your body's able to detoxify all these stored toxins, they're in fat cells. So that's why they're able to start breaking down the fat, because they're clearing out the toxins, which would be a great topic for next time. So thanks so much for being on here. You guys are doing incredible work. One of the first testimonials we had was from a guy that does retirement plans for our company. And I just gave him the Power Cleansing Greens last year at the end of the year. He's really bloated, but not really overweight. And usually when I do that, I don't hear back from anyone. But Dan sent me a nice email and a post on LinkedIn. And in 30 days, he was down 30 pounds.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Because I've tried every other shake out there. Because I don't know what you guys are doing. He says, but I am shocked. Now, he was training and changed his diet, of course. But he said, even when he's done that in the past, he hasn't experienced those results. So I love what you guys are
I've never
doing.
seen,
Thanks
Jamie,
so
I've never
much.
seen the results. I've never seen results like this. And in such a realistic, easy, convenient way. It's this kid with Jamie runs to something great. I just hope we can get more and more people on to give it a chance, to give themselves a chance to get their goals.
Well, thanks so much for making time. I know you guys are extremely busy between the businesses, the new baby puppy, Big Blue, and all your own training and remodeling a new facility in Bayshore. So many things going on. I just want to say thank you so much, Kelly. Thanks, Paulie. Thanks, Big Blue. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Jamie.
See you soon,
Always a
Jamie.
pleasure,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Love you.